Hey guys, in this video I'll talk about the word sum. This word has been responsible for a lot of confusion in the GMAT. Typically there are three confusions that arise. One, doesn't sum mean that we're talking about a small number? Often when you read about sum, you come across the language like sum could be any number from 1 to all. So doesn't the word sum mean a small number? That's one confusion. Second, the biggest one perhaps, is how is the word all included? And then the third, what happens if the number is actually more than half? Does the word sum convert to most? What happens if the number is actually the total number, all? Does the word sum convert to all? So a lot of confusion with regards to does the word convert, or do we take cases? What if the word sum what if the actual number is a small number? What if the actual number is closer to half, more than half, close to the total number? Do we take those separate cases? So I'll try to address these concerns in this video. First of all, the word sum can be associated with countable and non-countable things. I'd like some water. So water is not countable. It's not like I'd like 1 water, 2 water. No, some water. So first let's be clear about primarily what we'll deal with here is when we talk about countable things. Some people came to attend the party, for example. So how many people came to attend the party? Some. Here, number of people, we can talk about 1 person, 2 people, 3, and so on. So that's mainly what we are focusing on here. Although the same logic will apply to non-countable things also. Now, for countable things, the word sum basically means at least 1. That's exactly what the word sum means, at least 1. That is it. Now think about it. If someone asks me, oh Anish, you had a party yesterday, how many people came? And I answer, at least 1 person came. What's the sense that the other person might get? Based on my answer, at least 1 person came. The sense might be, oh, not a lot of people showed up. But realize, all I actually said was that at least 1 person came. So did I actually say that a small number of people came? No. All I said was at least 1 person came. So maybe 1 came, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe 10, whatever. Right? But the sense that the other person might have got is that the number wasn't big. Not what I said though. So the same logic applies with the word sum also. Someone asks me how many people came to your party. I say, oh, some people came. The sense that the other person might get is that, oh, not a lot of people came. Technically, all I said was at least 1 person came. Now, of course, if let's say overall I invited 20 people, and out of 20, let's say 18 showed up, and probably I would not use this word. Right? If a lot of people showed up, then probably if they ask me how was the party, I won't use a word like, oh, at least 1, or a phrase like at least 1 person came. I'd probably say a lot of them came, almost everyone came. But I won't be wrong even if I said at least 1 came. That's true. The number of people who came to the party was greater than equal to 1. So that's true. Right? So the word sum technically does not mean we're dealing with a small number. Just like the phrase at least 1 doesn't mean that we're dealing with a small number. If I tell you x is greater than equal to 1, does that mean x is close to 1? No. X could be any value greater than 1. Same logic with the word sum. Sum doesn't mean we're dealing with a small number. Next, how is the word all included? Oh, that's a big confusion. Array, sum could mean all also? Well, the same reasoning again. Sum means at least 1. So if I say at least 1 person showed up to my party, is it possible that all 20 showed up? Of course it is. If x is greater than equal to 1, x could be 20 also. So again, if I say some people showed up to the party, that means at least 1 person showed up. That means any number greater than equal to 1 showed up. and that number would include all as well. So sum does include all, because all sum means is at least 1. Now, cases. Oh, but what if the total number of people who came to the party is 11, more than half? Or what if the total number of people who came to the party is 20, all? Then does the word sum convert to most or all? No, there's no conversion happening. There are no cases. We know that at least one person showed up to the party. That is all. So at least one already means maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, ... maybe 19, maybe 20. That's all. So it's not like now I'll take these separate cases. So what if 2 people showed up? What if 3 showed up? What if 4 showed up? What if 19 showed up? What if 20 showed up? No. I know that at least one person showed up, and I'll deal with that information. And that's exactly the information I have if I use the word sum instead of the phrase at least one. So there's no conversion happening. There are no cases. Whenever dealing with countable nouns, some people showed up, some people came, some of my friends, I can simply replace the word some with at least one. Now, one more confusion that happens sometimes is some people or some of my friends. I'm using a plural, friends, for example. So shouldn't that start with 2? No, we'll not go by whether that term there is plural or singular. I'll explain this using another example. At least one person showed up. At least one person. So the word person here is singular. So does that mean exactly one person showed up? No. At least one person. So maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, ... So here I'm using a singular person, yet the number of people who showed up might be 1 or might be more than 1. The same logic, some people showed up. How many people showed up? The number might be 1 or might be more than 1. Just because I'm using a plural, some of my friends showed up, for example, doesn't mean that I'm necessarily talking about a plural number, more than 1. It could be one friend also who still showed up. I hope this video explains, at least to an extent, how to deal with the word sum.